A man with melting makeup clashes with the U.S. Senate. A German band composes an anthem about the fear of a nuclear winter. And a studio musician uses a controversial riff to create the greatest movie theme of the decade. Stay until the end, because this video is about 6 bands that dominated 1984, reigned supreme on the music charts, and then disappeared.
I want to rock.
Autograph, from Los Angeles, released Turn Up the Radio, a pure hard rock song with distorted guitars and the party spirit of Sunset Strip. Written as a debut single and promoted, it reached number 29 on the Billboard charts, sold over 500,000 copies, and for a moment was destined to be the next big hair metal band. They opened for Van Halen, for Motley Crue, for the biggest bands of the moment, but their second album sold poorly. The record label dropped them, and at the end of the decade, around 1989, they disbanded. And Turn Up the Radio remains a classic on radio and hair metal compilations, 80s party music. And nobody knows that Autograph was good, that it had talented musicians, that Steve Plunkett was a real vocalist, and that they didn't know they were forgotten before a decade was over. Talk Talk, from London, England, released It's My Life, a synth rock song with an iconic video of Mark Hollis singing while animals appear in a documentary-style, rather strange aesthetic. The song exploded in Europe, reaching number 31 in the US years later upon re-release, but it sold well, becoming an anthem of independence for young people who wanted to live their lives their way. But Mark Hollis was difficult. He didn't want to be a star. The band completely changed its sound in the late 80s, abandoning synth-pop for experimental jazz that sold much less. And around 1991, they broke up. Mark Hollis released a solo album and then disappeared from music, rarely giving interviews. It's My Life became a nostalgic song from 1984, and nobody knows that Talk Talk became one of the most important post-rock bands, that Mark Hollis is considered a genius by critics, and that they abandoned success to make art. If you're enjoying this, subscribe to the channel and comment which of these songs you still listen to today. Night Ranger, from San Francisco, released Sister Christian, a power ballad about Kelly Keagy's sister, Christy. But he misunderstood the name and wrote Sister Christian. With the "motorin" moment in the chorus that became a radio battle cry, moments where everyone sang along without knowing what it meant. And the song exploded, reaching number 5 on the Billboard charts, becoming a huge success and defining the sound of radio in 1984. And for a moment, they seemed destined to be the kings of power ballads. But the band was hard rock, not wanting to be known only for slow ballads. They tried heavy rock later, had other hits but on a smaller scale, and ended up being remembered more for Sister Christian. Almost nobody knows that Night Ranger had other albums, that they still play, that they are a serious hard rock band that ended up being mainly marked by this ballad. Alphaville, from Berlin, West Germany, released Forever Young, a synth-pop song about the fear of aging, about wanting to stop time, about nostalgia for something that is still happening. With the Cold War climate in the world, the real fear of an uncertain future was absolute, of everything ending at any moment. Forever Young reached number 65 in the US, but was a huge success in Europe, becoming one of the greatest synth-pop anthems of the 80s and transcending generations. The band is German, comes from a still divided Berlin, and carries this tension in its music. The American market didn't embrace them in the same way, and they continued in Europe, but never again had an impact in the US. They also released Big in Japan, which was more successful in Europe than in the United States, and continued with other works, slightly changing their sound over the years, but maintaining their identity. Twisted Sister, from New York, released We're Not Gonna Take It, a song of teenage rebellion with a sitcom-style music video where Dee Snider appears confronting a conservative family and encouraging the oppressed son to rebel.
I want to rock.
The song exploded, reaching number 21 on the Billboard charts and becoming a huge hit, an anthem for a generation of young people against authoritarian parents. In the late 80s, they lost momentum, and Dee Snider tried a solo career, radio hosting, and acting in B-movies. We're Not Gonna Take It became a rebellious anthem that plays in movies and commercials, and many people don't know that Twisted Sister struggled to be taken seriously and ended up being known for their humor, being remembered mainly as a symbol of teenage rebellion. Ray Parker Jr., from Detroit but living in Los Angeles, recorded Ghostbusters, a funk pop song written in a few hours for Ivan Reitman's film, with a riff that sounds exactly like Huey Lewis's I Want a New Drug. So similar that Huey sued and the case ended in a settlement. The song reached number 1 on the Billboard charts for 3 weeks, became a huge success, and turned into an absolute pop cultural phenomenon, with a music video full of ghosts, celebrities, and everything that 1984 represents. He's a film score composer, not a stage star, and when the film's popularity faded, he lost ground, and Ghostbusters became the most famous film song of 1984. The song everyone recognizes from the first notes. Ray Parker Jr. created a cultural anthem and didn't know he would be remembered only for that. If you value this kind of raw, researched history over the AI-generated trash flooding your feed, don't leave without hitting that subscribe button. Help us hit that 1,000 mark. Tell me in the comments, which year should we dig up next? 1969? 1991? You decide.